Over 1 billion people globally live with a disability. But there are more clothing lines for pets than people with a need for adapted clothing. The concept of beauty has become warped. By a lack of authentic representation in the media and fashion industries. It's time to be seen. I'm on my way to a fashion shoot in London, but it's not the usual kind. The models have disabilities or visible differences. The majority of clothing and lifestyle brands still aren't reflecting what people in the world truly look like. So I'm going to speak to the models about representation and the impact it has on public perceptions. Neve Woods is 20 years old and she was born with Haywell's syndrome. There are only 12 people on record in the UK who have the condition. Over time, she lost all of her hair. Neve wants other girls to feel beautiful and embrace their differences.
You see all these different models, like on social media, like on billboards, in the magazines, and everyone classes that as like the classic beauty, and then those people are the most beautiful people in the world. And then when you see people who may look a bit different, you get a lot of stares because people are used to seeing you. They don't understand, or they're just really like interested. But if we were to be everywhere as if we were normal, because we are completely normal, it might change just how people view us, because maybe we won't get as many stares when we walk down the street, because it might be just people just class it as that's just another beautiful person walking down the street. When I was younger, there was no one like in the media, or no one for me to look up to show me that I am beautiful, and I'd like to be that person that someone else could look up to just show them that you are beautiful.
Angela Selvaraja is 33 years old and she was born with vitiligo. The condition occurs when the cells which produce pigmentation die or stop making melanin. The pigment gives your skin, hair and eyes colour. Her journey to self-acceptance hasn't been easy.
You see like the stereotypical person, clear skin, slim, perfect in people's eyes, but obviously, times have changed. We're all normal. We might have visible differences, but that doesn't make us any less of a person than anyone else. I used to hide my condition. I would wear long sleeve tops, leggings, anything that's going to cover my skin, foundation. Literally every week I'm forking out for a high coverage foundation, which was obviously, very expensive. And yeah, I just didn't have no confidence at all in actually going out and exposing my skin. In the summer you'd see me covered up, winter covered up, but yeah, since modelling and that, I feel more, I could expose my skin. I feel more comfortable and confident in my skin. Yeah, and I really am enjoying it.
James Stewart is 14 years old and he was also born with vitiligo. He hasn't been treated the same by his peers at school because of his condition. Even though he has vitiligo, he is a healthy and capable individual. He loves football and acting. James believes if people continue to speak up, change will come.
I struggled at school and I felt quite bad about the way I looked and felt it was a punishment. But after the photo shoots, I realised it was a blessing and I'm different. I was born to be different. They take the pictures and I see them and I see myself and what I look like in a different way, in a more accepting way. I've realised a lot more on social media, a lot more people trying to spread awareness about it, but you get looked at differently. When you're out, I look around and people look at me with a different look to how they'd look at my friends, but it's changing.
Zebedee is the UK's first modelling agency exclusively for people with physical and learning disabilities. The company was set up by two sister-in-laws who recognised the need for fashion and media industries to cast a genuinely diverse range of people. Some of their clients include H&M, River Island and Disney. Co-founder Zoe Proctor spoke to me about inclusivity.
We represent a massive variety and selection of brilliant and unique individuals who all deserve to be seen because they have the skills and talent to do it, but they've never had the opportunities to do it before. People should be seen and it should be normal. And, we know that when we get a booking, it might just be a box ticker, a sign of tokenism. But sometimes we think, well, everything has to start somewhere, and we're happy to be that box ticker, as long as you realise the potential that our models and talent bring to your campaign, because it's morally the right thing to do. With disability especially, people are scared of saying the right thing, saying the wrong thing, thinking what extra work it could be. It's a busy industry, it's very fast paced. And I think people are scared of going against the grain and getting out there a little bit more. But we're here to help. We don't have any silly questions. It's so important on so many different levels that disability is normalised in the fashion industry because it is normal. We all know somebody who has a disability or is an illness or a difference. So we really want to see a more inclusive society, and it starts with media representation.
The next individual you may have seen in Hollyoaks, Sex Education on Netflix, or Tommy Hilfiger's adaptive campaign. Unlike the models who were born with differences, Brinston Chana had to adjust to living with a disability after his life changed forever the night he was involved in a tragic accident.
My dreams was just play football. That's all I wanted at that time, was football and getting to play one day for my favorite team, which was Barcelona. I was about to sign a contract with one of the biggest clubs in Spain, which was Atlético de Madrid, and I had to be 17 before doing that, but unfortunately I had my accident.
Escúchame, echa poquito el cuerpo con manos aquí.
The night of the accident, I went out to celebrate my 17th birthday with my friends, and we went partying. Then on our way back, obviously we were 17, none of us was driving, and we didn't want it was 7 o'clock in the morning, so we didn't want it to disturb our parents, oh, come pick us up and this and that. So we decided to just walk home. And on our way home, a drunk driver, which was coming from the same party as us, he crashed into us. He fell asleep, then he went the opposite direction and crashed into us. And all of my friends died in an accident. I was the only one to survive it.
And how did that feel?
To be honest, the first question I always ask myself is, why me? Why am I the only one alive? And why didn't I die? Or do I deserve to be alive more than they did? Or that was like, it's just like questions that never gonna be an answer for it, and it's always gonna be in my head. It took me almost a year and a half, 2 years after my accident to get used to accept who I was, because I never accepted it, because I was like hoping one day I'll wake up, I'll be able to move my leg. You know, one day I just woke up from this dream and I'm able to move my leg and I'm able to run, I'm able to do all this stuff. So I was still like clinging to that hope, to be like, one day I'm just gonna wake up and everything's gonna be fine, everything's gonna be better. But when time passed, you just realize that this is what it is, this is who you are. It's better to accept it than to fight against it. When you fight against who you are, you get into serious depressions, into serious problems that if I wasn't strong enough, I wouldn't be able to get over it, because I tried to commit suicide twice while I was going through that state of accepting myself. But thank God, I just realized that this is who I am right now, and I have to accept it and stop trying to fight it. And once I accepted it, things were way better. My life was just way better. I just felt more happier. I just saw things way different. I just had the energy to do whatever I wanted to do.
The years following the accident were challenging for the whole family, but Brinston's mother, Charlotte, wants her son to be a role model for people who are in a similar situation.
Let him be, or let him keep on doing what he's doing, to be that model for any other child or any other family who have been through this. I'm sorry.
But you're proud of him,
Yes, that's sure, yeah, very, 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 yeah, I'm very proud of him. Really, he gives me joy, he gives me smile, really, when I think in another way around. He gives me the smile, yeah. And I just want him to keep on, and for other family, other kids should know, it's another opportunity God has given them in life, for us to know it's not because I've got 2 legs that I'm better than him. It's not because no, there's no difference between him and I. There's no or different between him and another child. Just let any family to know that those who are in this situation, they should just accept it and then focus on a good way of it, and then everything will be all right. Let him just be that model for the rest of the other youngsters like him, to carry on with whatever come across them, and the world is theirs. As long as everyone is alive, they have the opportunity to do whatever they can do and achieve whatever they want to achieve. Yeah.
Brinston lives an independent life. He is able to drive and does most things for himself, which is why he finds it frustrating that shops aren't designed to cater for people in wheelchairs.
Shops are accessible to get in and all that, but to get to the top clothes where you got the t-shirts and sometimes some jeans as well that you want to try out, and you can't get there if you're in a wheelchair, you're definitely going to need help as well. There could be something that they could do with that, which is like maybe like I don't know, something that you can pull it down, you know, like when you can like pull the hanger down, or the holder for the clothes, you can just pull it down, bring it down to you, then you can take the clothes you want, then it makes it goes back up. That would be way cool, and it could help a lot. When you're shopping, you don't know how clothes is going to look on you, especially when you're in a wheelchair, because most of the magazines you see, that are people that are not in a wheelchair, and most of the clothes that you buy, when you put them on, obviously when you sat down, they look way different than when you're sitting up. So it'll be cool to have like more magazines with people in a wheelchair, disabled models, or that they have the clothes on.
The purple pound is worth around £250 billion to the UK economy. This is the spending power of people with disabilities. My final part of uncovering equal representation involved another trip to London to visit Samantha Renker, one of the most prominent disability campaigners. She is asking companies to include people with disabilities, as it can only benefit them.
Designers might think it's too much of a niche market, and I just say, look, we can put a man on the moon. We can, you know, we're going to be getting like driverless cars in the next few years. Yet you can't design clothes that will be beneficial for everyone, and so I just think there's just no excuse anymore. I mean, sometimes I'm sure when I do a lot of talks that I do, people want me to kind of be quite softly and go, oh, well, you know, it is getting better. And I just a bit like, come on, you know, work with us, see us as sexual beings, you know, do lingerie that's amazing, you know, design clothes for us that's sexy, you know. So I think we need to change the narrative of seeing disabled people as a problem, and I think media plays a big part, and you know, the fashion industry also plays a big part, particularly in just being confident and being sexy. I think disabled people are often infantilized. When I was born, you know, the first words my parents heard were, "My God, I'm so sorry, it looks like she's gonna die, you know, terrible, woe is horrible, disabled, oh, prognosis not good, pray for your daughter," instead of actually, you've got a beautiful baby daughter, what are you going to call her? Oh, and actually, you know, by the way, I think there might be some sort of medical complication, but don't worry, because we know many people who have this condition, brittle bones, and they live successful and happy lives. People have been a big part of my life because I live in such a disabling world. I do want to have children, and if I do have children with the same condition as me, you know, I want them to be brought up into a different world than I have.
We getting into modeling and we getting all these jobs and stuff, we getting shown out there. It's going to show others that they shouldn't look at us as outcasts, or look at us with pity, that, oh, look, they're in a wheelchair, or oh, look, they can't do this anymore, or they can't do that anymore. It's just going to show them that even though we're in a wheelchair, we're still people, we're still part of society, we're still able to do stuff, and we're still, I mean, just people. Now I feel like I could fly, to be honest. I just feel like I could do anything.
People who once hid behind closed doors because they were scared of what society would say are now standing proudly in front of the camera. And their message couldn't be clearer. It's time to be seen.